I know I said it was going to be the last video on EH on the previous one we made, but Prydwen just posted the ratings for the tier list, and when I saw it, I was like, wait a second, are they cooking or are they tripping? So let's talk a little bit about the Prydwen updated tier list now that they posted the review for EH. For some context on where she is at the moment on the bossing tier list, which is the one I personally like, as usual, is the one I look for. EH is at the moment on A, which is A for story, A for bossing, C for PvP. Now, a few weird combinations in here, because for Prydwen, the A tier, it's meta, which I completely disagree. I wouldn't call EH meta on absolutely anything, not even on bossing, right? Even less so when we have so many good win units already. But whatever, like, it's only a few characters. Like, for example, I could agree with EH being where Scarlet is, where Bunny Soda is, where both Rays are, where Modernia is. Modernia outside of Fire Wick doesn't get any usage, right? I wouldn't agree with Eve, I wouldn't agree with Ain, with normal Asuka, with Chisato, with characters that clearly are stronger and get a lot more usage overall. But again, it's a little bit of a nitpicking on some units up and down. I think the biggest problem is putting meta in here, because I don't think she's meta, like, at all, right? I would move probably that meta line one up, in my opinion. Also, some B1s and B2s that are not at the same level as EH, like, at all, right? EH is not a great character. And again, I got mine. I put her with 4 elemental, only 1 attack. Sadly, I didn't get any more. I'm not wasting any more rocks on her. Like, whatever she got, she got. We are not rerolling anything on her, because that's more than enough. Now we're saving rocks for whatever is coming next before the half anniversary, right? That's it. All that jumping aside, let's check the review, the pros, the cons, what they're recommending, and if we agree or not where she's on the tier list. Do let me know what you guys think. My opinion remains the same. I don't think you should be pulling for EH at all, and I don't think you should be calling her meta. I don't know what this is on a story, because for a story, who is she with? So a story is... Wait. Why is the meta separator way higher here? Okay. A story on A would be with Diesel, Ludmilla, Maiden... 50-50. Also, I don't know why this is like best replacement situational, but the line changes on bossing when clearly most of these characters are not meta for campaign. Like, when was the last time you guys used Trina for campaign? You know, I'm insane, or fucking extra treasure, right? Like, plenty of characters here are not meta for campaign. They have never been meta for campaign. I will probably move that line up one tier, so it takes S and everything above S, right? Because EH or calling EH meta is, in my opinion, not great. Not great. That's it. Let's check directly what's going on with her, the review, the pros, the cons, the investment tips, and what are they saying about our best goth mommy. Can we even call her a goth mommy? She's like an angry mommy, probably, you know? Just angry. So, let's read directly the pros and the cons as usual, because that's what we care about. I am going to be zooming in. Hopefully this is good. This is good enough for you guys. Let me know in the comments. Pros. 130% attack buff makes her good against high defense enemies or under big CP gaps. No personal attack damage makes her scale really well on it, since we have plenty of attack damage buffers, even more so nowadays. There is plenty of options for B1 and B2s. Nice ass. Absolutely. Really good ass, a T1 on our asset tier list. I hope she gets a gacha skin or a skin overall, because it can only get better, right? That ass can only get better. And then for the pros, for the cons, there is nothing else on the pros. Right here, so scraps require the killing of parts, projectiles, or enemies, which might not be available all the time. Burst skill is manual needy. If you can make it to level 10, she takes a huge hit in strength. 130% attack buff makes her scale much less on external attack buffers during her burst. Doesn't matter who you have on your team, if it's a Litter, if it's a Moran, if it's even another one or a Privacy giving attack, it's going to be a lot more diluted on someone like EH than on any other character in the game, because of that, you know, stupid. This really good 430% attack damage, attack buff. Because of that, she's one of the most dupes-thirsty units. No chance, guys. Don't pull for dupes. Don't pull. They not recommended pulling for dupes, but don't pull for dupes. Buff require constant collection of scraps. If a boss stops respawning enemies, parts, or projectiles for an extended period of time, she considerably loses damage. Her skill 1 and 2, like I said on my previous video, should just bring one skill and give her something else on a skill 2. It's just literally a waste of having those two skills being related to one another so close. That's what it is. High attack buff makes her good in campaign bossing technically, but there isn't really a wind weak wall yet. And even in the case that, there is a wind weak wall, the reason there is not a wind weak wall is because the wind units are completely overpowered. There is nothing that SBS Liberalia will not get passed through, or just your Nayuta with your Siren as well. Even if you're using Asuka, still Wile is fantastic. So yeah, there is no wall because it's the strongest mono-elemental team in the game, nothing else. And then another con is Ass. But see, that's my problem with the rating on the tier list. How are you gonna say she's Ass while you are calling her meta, right? Like, how is she Ass when you yourself are calling her a meta pick, a meta character for bossing specifically? And then, was it the best replacement for story? Yes, the best replacement is last situational for a story. I don't agree. I think she should not be rated as high, or at least make the clarification that she's not meta at all. Also, to be fair, she's better than most of the characters in the tier B, or at least some of them. I can agree with her being with Phantom, with both Privates, with Mana, with Sakura, like I was saying on my previous video. I think she's better in terms of damage. EH is better than Sakura and Mana, but at least Mana provides some utility, right? So, once again, just the clarification of what's meta and what's not. I don't think she's meta. We'll see on the next raid where she ends up being played and how useful she actually is, right? Until then, we'll keep her there. Investment, they are recommending a 4-4-10 or a 7-7-10. I don't think you need to go to level 7 on the skill 1 and 2. I think it's kind of like a waste of resources, just because the increase you get is not high at all. I could see a 4-7-10 because the elemental damage is a little bit better on level 7, but it's not that big of a difference either. A skill 1 is a 2% increase, or a 2 point something percent to level 10. And skill 2, it's a 5% increase to level 10. Like, it's just too much for the resources required. She's gonna be a filler unit for wind weak raids, so a 4-4-10 is already good enough for her. They're recommending 4 LF, 3 ammo, 4 attack, which again, attack is great. Even if she has 430% outside her burst, you still need to get as much as possible to dish out more damage. And then they also say here, due to her high amount of self-attack buff, LA is significantly more valid than attack, but attack still boosts damage, especially in the off-burst rotation. And then max ammo boosts uptime and in-turn damage. Max ammo is good regardless of what character you're putting into. Hit rate and then crit for the filler lines. And then for the cubes, they are recommending a distraction, resilience, and bastion. I don't think you need the resilience cube, but I also did recommend it in case you have the other two already filled, or they are already full of other characters, right? If you don't have any slots available on your bastion, then resilience will work. It's still nice reload speed, okay? Even if she has a 1 second real time, it works. Distraction is one of the best cubes for her, as long as the boss has parts and you can take advantage of this. If not, probably Bastion is your best pick. And then PvE priority 5 out of 10, which, like I said earlier, I think if you're gonna put like a 5 out of 10 priority on a character, we cannot call her meta unlike anything. But outside of that, I agree with everything else. It's the same as I've been talking for the last few days on all of these videos we've made for EH. And then the recommended teams they have for her is a random B1, and then you see a Snow White with Aid, okay? So if you want to be running like a Pierce team with Ludmilla on the damage taken, you could be running that, only having EH as your only source of Wind Weak, which can still work. Again, on that team, Snow White will be doing most damage, more damage than EH probably. And then a normal Wind Weak team where you are running both treasures for Helm, Private, and then a Velvet. I would probably use Siren on that team, right? Like, if we're talking about Wind Weak raids, it's always gonna be Siren with your Nayuta and your strongest characters on the first team. But just nitpicking rather than complaining. Great teams. And a great review as well. The only complaint, like I was saying earlier, that meta placement feels too much, okay? You cannot call her meta and then say she's ass on the cons and then put a priority of 5 out of 10, because that's kind of a contradiction itself. That's it. Enough japping, enough ranting. Do let me know how you guys feel about her placement on the Prydwen tier list on the second best Wernica website. Don't fight me, Prydwen, okay? It's a joke, it's a joke. We live every single day. Link in the description down below. Good luck with your pool dinner needs. And I'll see you on the next one.